I'm reading the patch notes and this just makes me sad. Like, look at this. Gameplay mechanics. The unhook interaction may no longer be cancelled, partway to avoid being able to keep someone on the hook maliciously. Like, god damn, man! That thing was the most toxic thing in the existence, I guess. Like, oh, it happened every single day, every single match. Like, seriously. Come on, we gotta remove it. And all fun and jokes aside, like, this is just sad. Like, it's sad to see that we live in a period of time in which every single thing, like almost everything, even if it doesn't happen to you, or there is like a slight chance of it happening, like really small and you almost never see it, can be offensive to someone. You guys know me. I like to yap a lot, brag, complain, blah 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 blah, everything is bad now and so on, but this thing is just bad. And I also do memes, which are funny sometimes. But right now, I couldn't just get over it, because this thing just shows you what DBD will look like in the future. They will slowly remove every single thing that for most people was fun. Only a slight minority of the player base found it inconvenient. And because of that, it's getting removed for everybody? They will do it with everything in the future, I'm sure of that. Like, look at this, look in the past, what they did. How long until teabagging will get a cooldown, or, I don't know, being removed completely? I guess you cannot teabag, like, crouch, not teabag, crouch anymore, or anything like that? Or how long until you cannot point in a chase anymore because it will be found offensive for, like, I don't know, 0.00001% of the player base? I'm not trying to promote bullying or anything, but this is just stupid. Like, these are just small features of the game which actually made the game enjoyable for everybody. Like, it's something that you can do, it's just optional, you don't have to do it. Let's look at it this way. Let's consider whatever this issue was truly a significant problem. In, like, I guess I have 3,000 something hours right now that I've spent playing this god forbidden game that I hate and love at the same time because I'm going insane. I've barely encountered it happening to me by a random player more than, let's say, maybe 3 times? Maximum. I don't recall more than that. And from what I recall, actually, in 2 of those instances, I was the one initially trolling 2 of those guys, because I don't know, I was just feeling bored, I guess, or I can't remember the stupid reason I chose to troll those 2 randoms that never do mistakes, by the way. Let's just, for a second, put this into perspective. In 3,000 hours, which translates to approximately 125 days, literally 4 months, of me just non-stop playing this game that I love, of course. Starting from January 2021, when I began playing the game daily. I guess it was then, I cannot remember actually, but it was somewhere around there. The developers perceived the game to be much more toxic than it is now. However, in my opinion, even with the presence of bully squads, all dead hard and so on, like all decisive, and we can just keep the list going. There were a lot of stuff back in the day, which in my opinion were not that big of an issue. But the thing is, they became an issue when they changed the matchmaking. That's just another talk, we're gonna keep it for another video. I guess if I'm ever gonna do some stuff like that. I've never considered the game to be extremely toxic. Like, what term? Jesus. Toxicity. Quite contrary, it was the most fun I have ever had playing back then, like literally. Since I played this game, the most fun I ever had was it back then, because by chance, I just got the best period of this game to play on. And it was really fun. I still remember getting stuck in rank 8 and just playing there and actually meeting people that don't sweat like their life depends on it. And yeah, many things. But that's, again, something that maybe one day that I'm gonna talk more about. And to be honest, this mechanic was something my friends and I used for laughter most of the times. Like, to just jest about the situation. There was nothing malicious about it. It was simply another enjoyable aspect of the game that added to its overall appeal and provided an alternative way to the repetitive, generator rushing gameplay which a lot of survivors do now. To be honest, I don't like too much. I just do it when there's like a skull merchant or something. Oh, you should just see on them. Anyway, let's just go back. But beyond it's fun, this change is actually quite bad to the health of the game, like literally. And many people just pointed out, because I made the community post a day ago, I guess, 2 days, something like that, to just see what people think about this. And yeah, like kind of overall, most people that, I'm not gonna say that actually have more than 2 brain cells and they don't just listen to what, I don't know, X and Y big streamers said that, man, this change is amazing, which is basically probably forced by the developers to just say that. Now you can't even pay the killer to hit the hooked survivor and maybe just like save them and you run away and not get down. I guess, thereby increasing your chances of escape overall, not just die at 5 gens. And also, you can't bait the hunters anymore into like throwing the hatchet that probably she's just holding and going towards the hook with the speed of a snail, and she's just waiting for you to start the unhook animation. Maybe just throw it at the exact same time so she hits you. This is just hilarious to see how disconnected with their game the developers are. I wanna bet they don't play their game. And the thing is, if you look at it, they just take it slowly, every single update there is something being removed. Remove one thing at a time, so it doesn't create too much controversy, so people still play the game because they're addicted to it, and they just want to keep you hooked there. Like, they're trying to remove all the fun from the game slowly, just taking bit by bit. And you don't realize it, like, you see it happen like one thing at a time, like, sure, like, anyway. But in like, I don't know, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, like, kinda everything just goes away. And you're just left with, go hold M1 on the generator as fast as you can, and leave the match, that's it. Or maybe be hooked or tunneled at 5 gens or something like that. I don't know what the game is gonna look like in 2 years. Let's look in the past. Hook grabs got removed because they were, I guess, toxic? Or I don't know, like, people that camped use them? Yeah, sure, but like there were some people that camped, which kind of happens often after the skill-based matchmaking change. But that's not a reason to remove a feature from the game, which kind of like in most cases helps the killer in a good way, because let's just put it like this way. So there is somebody hooked, the survivor is running towards the hooked survivor, you basically have 1 gen left, 2 hooks, maybe, and you can just grab them and get another hook. Just apply pressure by doing that. But no, now you cannot grab them anymore, you would just hit, and the hit survivor would just save, and you would just down him and maybe run after the other guy that has BT, and so on. And also, spamming your flashlight got removed because, again, 0.000000001% of the community had an issue with it, and someone had a seizure. Like, I understand it's problematic for those people who want to enjoy the game without their health suffering, but if they really wanted to help those people, they would have made an accessibility feature. For example, this is just the one thing I just thought that they could do, but hey, they're a multi-billion not multi-billion, more like multi-million-dollar company, like for sure they have some smart minds to think about the solution, not just remove it. For example, if you have that switch on in the settings, like in the accessibility settings, there's like a switch, like, I don't know, they call it something, and on or off. And if the game detects that someone is using either a macro to spam the flashlight too fast, or to just flick it in your face, like beep, 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 and so on, the sound will not be audible if the flashlight was pressed more than, I don't know, X amount of times, and the light from it will just not show if it appeared more than, again, X amount of times on your screen. It's just an elegant way to solve an issue for those people that actually need it, and not affect everybody else that actually is probably, yeah, people that were using that to be toxic sometimes. But most of the times I was just using it to communicate with my friends and just like, I don't know, be funny and enjoy a game, because that's why we actually play video games, to have fun and enjoy games, not to just feel stressed because we go in a match and we just gotta, ooh, go fast, gen rush, ooh, go fast, tunnel, and so on. At the end of the day, we're not getting anything. There's not even something that I need to, let's say, grind, I guess, for each month to get to rank 1 how it used to be before, which also was kind of like, I guess, useless. And the thing is, they could have fixed the matchmaking otherwise if they actually saw it as a big issue. But yeah, that's again another talk. But just going back to what I was saying, this would have been a way more elegant way to actually fix the issue and not just like patch it with flex tape and just not use a guy as a pretext to remove something which you think is toxic. I don't know, but it just feels like there are some people in the lead development team which I think they have never played the game or saw anything about the game, and they just read like a piece of paper with something that somebody wrote and they're like, oh man, this is so toxic, like we need to remove it. But they don't look like at the times that it actually happened, because this the unhooking thing that they see malicious actually happened almost never. I usually forget it exists, and even if you remember, you just do it to friends because there is no reason to be toxic to a random that didn't do anything to you. What do I know anyway? I'm just a guy that does memes, and I don't know, like, apparently now with just him bragging about stuff and just complaining and being a piece of cake. But yeah, thanks for watching. And if you guys like this type of content, like me just talking and saying my opinion, that's usually wrong, let's say it. That's how most people see it anyway. just tell me in the comments, I guess. And I hope you're gonna have a nice day. And see you next time, whenever that's gonna be.